How will The Boys Season 5 end? And now in today's video, I'm just going to be theorizing about how The Boys Season 5 will end. Right as of this recording, it is Monday right now, and Season 5 is going to be premiering on Wednesday. So I'm just going to be theorizing some stuff about the ending and also just about the season in general, so please stay tuned. And now, before we actually get to the video, I'd like to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you guys so much for the growth. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it. And I haven't uploaded in a month now, and it's been really messed up. But now I've got everything sorted out. So I will be talking about The Boys, Thewalkingdead, and also Invincible. So if you guys want to see Invincible content on this channel as well, please comment down below and let me know. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, unlike Invincible and The Walking Dead and many other shows, The Boys does not take much from the source material. I mean, Invincible takes it one for one, and The Walking Dead kinda loosely adapts it, but you could see that they're taking a lot from the source material. But that is not the case with The Boys, as we all know. They haven't been taking anything from the comics so far. I mean, yeah, you know, they've been loosely adapting it here and there, but they're changing some major things about the story, and you could fully expect that for season 5, especially for the ending. And I want to get into the ending in a bit, but first of all, I want to talk about who is Homelander punching in that one scene that shows up in the trailer quite a bit. And a lot of people have been theorizing about who he could be punching, and I have about 3 people that I suspect that he's punching. And I think one of these characters, I think their fate ends up in a different way in another scene in the trailer, which I'll be talking about later. But first of all, I want to talk about Queen Maeve. And now, as we all know, Maeve is going to be in this season of The Boys. I mean, it's fully obvious. And as we all know, in season 3 of The Boys, Maeve lost her power, right? Because she fell off the building with Soldier Boy while he was charging up his beam. And all of the Compound V got fried out of her system in that process. And now, with Maeve returning in this season of The Boys, you all may be asking, why is Homelander punching her? And why is he going over and over and over again? Now, first of all, I think it has something to do with the flight video, right? You know, since season 1, when Homelander left that flight full of people with Maeve, and Maeve always used that as a way to blackmail Homelander, right? You know, they keep on showing the video to him, but it never went public as of now. So it's very likely that Maeve possibly leaks the video because Homelander is going after her now, right? You know, he has to cut off any loose ends, right? As we saw in the finale of The Boys season 4, they're cutting off, they're killing whoever has anything on them, who has any dirt on the Seven and Vought and Homelander and stuff like that, which Maeve probably has the biggest, right? She probably has the biggest piece of evidence against Homelander and everyone like that to expose him. So I have a feeling with Homelander punching Maeve like this in a public setting, it makes a lot of sense. And also, it is possible that she got her Compound V again. Maybe she injected herself with Compound V because she knows that Homelander's coming after them, so then she injects herself beforehand, so then, like, you know, she could actually put up a fight with him. And it kind of does remind me of that panel from the comics where Homelander actually kills Maeve with one big punch to the head and her head flies off. So it could be kind of a mirroring to that scene, but I'm not too sure. So yeah, I have a feeling that Maeve is getting punched here in front of everyone by Homelander, and it's going to be an example for the people that, yeah, Homelander has this side also, like the end of season 3 when he killed that one person for throwing a cup at Ryan. I think that this is another way to set an example for everyone, because in this season of The Boys, it is touched upon quite a bit that Homelander thinks he's a god, and with him doing this in public, I don't really think he would care what anyone thought about him, because he's way past that now, and he's like, yeah, no one can really do anything to me, so he gets that free pass in his opinion. So yeah, as I said before, I think Maeve is this person that Homelander is punching. And now the next person I want to talk about is A-Train. And now A-Train has been on the list for one of the biggest deaths in the show for quite a while, since season 4, ever since he had his face turn, right? So ever since he became a good guy, his name has always been on the list, and everyone thought that he was going to die in season 4, but it is very, very likely that he's going to die in season 5. And, you know, I personally think that A-Train is going to die in this season, but probably not in this way. At first, I did theorize that, yeah, you know, Homelander is punching A-Train, right? Because he probably catches him somewhere, and they have this big fight in a mall or whatever, or in a public setting, and that's where he just wails on him, right? He stops him from running out of his hands, and he just absolutely goes ham on him. But I think that A-Train dies in that one scene in the woods in the trailer, where Homelander is flying very fast through the trees, and he's trying to catch up to somebody. I think that he's finding A-Train because probably A-Train witnesses him taking V1, and he's just after A-Train now, right? Because he's like, okay, I finally got my hands on A-Train because A-Train betrayed him, and also now he's working with the boys. But yeah, I think there's a chance that A-Train could die in that scene in the trailer, but I personally think he's gonna die in the woods in like another scene that showed up in the trailer. And now the third character that I'm going to talk about, I mean, I don't really know who it could really be, right? No, to be honest, my mind is mostly going on Maeve, but it's also likely that it could be Ryan, right? And I know that a lot of people are going to be commenting down that why would Homelander beat Ryan like that, but come on, you know, Ryan took his own route now, and he left Homelander, he left Butcher, and probably this is an Omni-Man moment, right? I think they want to create a scene like how in the finale of Invincible Season 1, Omni-Man was just wailing on Mark. I think that they want to recreate that type of scene in The Boys, and to be honest, I think it would be pretty cool to see that Homelander is going completely maniac psycho mode on his own son. And it would truly show this new side of Homelander that he cannot be redeemed whatsoever. His mind can't change at all. I mean, before him as a father, right, you know, there was a way to look at that okay, maybe he's a good father, maybe he could change. But now if they show him beating Ryan to a pulp, then there's like, yeah, you know, there's no going back now, and Homelander is going to die, and nothing is going to change him whatsoever. I think that they want a scene like that. I don't think they're going to go full Omni-Man in that moment, like how Omni-Man, he just looks at Mark and then he just leaves Earth and never comes back, right? I think that that's where Homelander is going to go down even a darker path, right? Like how season 4, he went down to the lab and he killed all the lab scientists, and he got past that childhood fear of trying to impress everybody and trying to be perfect, and like, you know, not having everybody judge him. I think that this is another way to get past one of those human weaknesses, quote unquote, about being a father by beating his own son to a pulp. I don't think Ryan's gonna die. I think the boys are gonna come on time and they're gonna save Ryan. But yeah, I think that even Ryan is very likely to be in this scene with Homelander. And now let's get into how will this finale play out, right? And as we saw in the trailer, Homelander is sitting in the White House, right? You know, he finally took over the country, and he's the president of the United States, which is very, very accurate to the comics. But there's one key detail. He didn't kill the president, right? No, the room is completely clean, and he's just on that chair. So I think that that is in the last episode. And then in that scene, you have Butcher and Soldier Boy coming, right? Because again, like, you know, it's been shown off quite a bit that Soldier Boy is working with Homelander, but I think that Soldier Boy might come with some sort of deal with Butcher, right? I think they might end up working together at the end, kind of mirroring that scene at the end of season 3 where Homelander and Butcher had to end up working together. I think that this is just going to be on reverse, and it's going to be Butcher and Soldier Boy working together against Homelander. And, you know, a lot of people are saying that Homelander is going to die at the last episode, right? You know, just like how it was in the comics. But, I mean, there are two ways to do this, right? I mean, if you want to go full comic accurate, which I don't think they should because that was kind of stupid, you should have Ryan taking that Black Noir spot, right? Of just absolutely demolishing Homelander and killing him once and for all. Or you could even give that role to Butcher, right? With his new symbiote powers. Probably there's some way that Butcher, he rips Homelander in half or something like that right before he dies, because it's also very likely that Butcher is going to die at the end also. But personally, how I want this ending to play out, and this, you could comment down below if you agree with me or if you have a better idea, right? I would love to hear from you guys. I personally want Homelander to lose all of his powers, and I've been thinking about this since season 4 of The Boys, right? That wouldn't it be interesting if Homelander were to lose all of his powers, and except for him dying, he gets thrown into jail, and he lives like a normal human or a mud person, which he hates more than anything, right? You know, he has been promoting this idea of supes being proud of being supes, and they're way better than normal humans and stuff like that. And Homelander quite clearly says he's like a god, right? So it would be interesting if the final fight of The Boys, you have Soldier Boy frying out the V1 and the Compound V out of Homelander, with Ryan and Butcher holding him down, and that's where you have probably a Soldier Boy and a Butcher dying, right? And of course, I don't want Soldier Boy to die, right? Now, you all know that I'm a huge Soldier Boy fan, but it's very obvious that he's gonna die. Now, how he's going to die, I'm not too sure about that, right? You know, it's probably going to be Butcher versus Soldier Boy at the end, right after Homelander gets his powers fried out of him, and Butcher ends up killing Soldier Boy, but then he dies in that process as well, leaving Ryan and Homelander the only survivors of that fight. And wouldn't it be cool that the final shot of The Boys is Homelander rotting in a jail cell? He can't do anything at all, right? No, he genuinely can't do anything at all, and you have Ryan visiting him in prison and, you know, making him reflect on everything he's done in his life. And if you guys think that Butcher's gonna end up killing Ryan, I don't believe that whatsoever, right? Because he wouldn't really bring himself to killing Ryan. I don't think that he's gonna kill Ryan, but I think that it's going to end with Homelander in prison, Ryan visiting Homelander in prison, making him reflect, and then Homelander probably feeling some guilt and stuff like that, or he probably just has the same ego as before. And then we have the final shot of the actual Justice League, right? Like the actual proper Justice League with Ryan as their Superman, right? Now have a proper 7 that is actually helping people, and their motives are clear. And I think by the end, even Vought is going to fall to the ground, and heroes are actually going to be heroes in this universe afterwards. But it's also possible that Butcher and the boys could wipe out every single supe on the face of the planet, right? With some sort of bioweapon with the virus that's been, like, you know, touched upon quite a bit in the trailer. It's likely that either the show could end off with no more supes whatsoever, or it could end up with supes actually being superheroes, right? You know, without any fame and glory, right? You know, them just being normal superheroes that everyone thought that superheroes were in the Boys universe. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I'd like to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you guys so much for the growth. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it. And comment down below, what do you guys think? How will The Boys Season 5 end? Will the finale be good? Will the ending be good? Or will it just leave us with a very sour taste? And if you guys want to see some Invincible content, please comment down below and let me know what you guys want from Invincible in general, right? You know, I could be talking about the show also, as well as explain the comics. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching.